WorkFusion Stanislaw Venchyk. Приветствуем.
Check, check. Hi, everyone. How do you feel, everyone? Be tired? Good? All right. So, before we start, a few words about me. I am developing the business of WorkFusion company. We are selling artificial intelligence, or if you may, robots, and you can't see them. These are virtual robots who help people to do those repetitive tasks in back offices, right? Before, I was in charge of operations of a large Belarusian fertilizer producer, and I was selling this to Brazil. And before, I was just observing, and when I was brought up by my father, I was just observing how he was selling Bilaz trucks to different parts of the world. So I was kind of growing in this commercial environment. You had these days before, right? The entrepreneurship day, product day, fundraising day. Let's imagine you have it all now. It's all set, right? So we need just to put it all into use, to apply it somewhere. And how we do it, we just go and sell it, right? And I like to start with this number, 50%. One of the research agencies in the US, the number of startups that fail due to sales-related reasons, right? Can it be a price, wrong pricing, wrong marketing strategy, or some problems with business model, right? So that is, I'm just saying it's just because it is important, right? This stage of your startup, this part of operations of your startup. Good. And let's start and just define what is sales. What comes to your mind when you think about selling? What is it? Just one phrase. Can just some ideas. Communication. What is that? Trading. Trading. All right. Anything else? Making money. More exchange, more ideas, more ideas. Right? For me, when I think about selling, I think about matching. You all know these kind of apps, right? Tinder, where how people now doing relationships, so they are matching. They're saying, "Oh, I like you. Oh, I also like you. Okay, we're matched." That's how I see of selling. There is a constant matching between two counterparts, right? Let's go and see now what is it exactly. Let's just have some fun now. Do you know where is it? Do you recognize this picture? Do you know where is it from? Where is it from? Right, that is a wolf from Wall Street, and he's famous. Sell me this pen, right? So I just don't want to load you with lots of information. I want you to tell me how to sell, right? So I happen to have a pen here, and I need some volunteer to sell it. Who wants to sell it? Do you need micro?
No. Okay. I won't give it back if you don't pay. I can just take your pen and go.
I just happen to have another one here.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's good. It's good. I liked it. Thank you very much. Yeah, you take it. You take it. It's fine. It's fine. Who wants to sell this pen? You're not selling only to me, remember? The task is just sell this pen. What is that? I don't have paper and pen.
Yeah, you need pen only.
Yes.
First.
Yes.
That's
okay,
why.
thank you. You take it. You take it.
Okay,
And one more pen here. One more pen here. One more volunteer. All right, you can just say how would you sell it. You don't need to just do it right now.
Can you make an autography for me, please?
Sure. All right. Yeah. Thank you. You take it. You take it. Yeah. That's the trick from that movie, right? He asked them to write something down. All right. That's the selling, right? What were you doing? What were you doing? You were searching for a need and doing this match. All right. You have this need, and I have this pen. We match, and you take it, right? When we are speaking, today on this event, we are speaking about entrepreneurial sales process, right? That is something different because it is not just, take it, just buy this pen. It is stretched in time. It is a long process with different types of stages. And this moment that we just experienced, that is just small part of this entrepreneurial sales process, which we are going to see now. Right. When people usually talk about this sales process, they describe it as a funnel. Who heard from you before this word funnel, sales funnel? In Russian, it would be воронка продаж. Anyone? All right, cool. All right, great. So what is a sales funnel? It is the process, right? It represents the process in time, and it represents the number of potential clients that you are interacting with, right? And it's decreasing. See, it starts with a large number of potential customers, and they don't really have close communication with you. And as time goes, the number of these potential customers is decreasing, but the rate of engagement, the rate of interaction is actually increasing. So you're talking more to them. You're kind of building a relationship to them. All right. And now I want to just drive you through the stages of this process. The first stage of these, right? Thank you very much. Can you say anything? All right, cool. There is the first stage. They call it targeting. They call it preparation. It is more like a marketing activity, but it's very important. That is like foundational. And I actually see lots of companies, even not startups, companies, they are struggling with this. They are struggling to answer these questions. These very questions that you need to answer before you start. First, why you do what you do? Why you're selling this, right? Then, who is your ideal buyer? I would like to emphasize this word, ideal buyer, because we're not going to sell. We want to sell to the whole world, but it's not going to happen. The whole world is not going to buy what you are selling, right? What you are doing. So you need to find this ideal buyer that would be the easiest one to sell. Your ideal counterpart, right? Then what is your offering about? Like, you need to make it clear, point by point, what are you offering. The next one is, how are you going to sell it? And this how, I also mentioned it here below, the components of sales process. It consists of customer journey, means what's happening to your customer, to your potential buyer. What stages he's passing through, what activities are happening to him, right? The next one is actions plan. This is something that you are doing. What are you doing to actually make this sale happen, right? The next one is channels, the channels of communication with your buyer. Like, for example, could it be digital channels, online channels, or offline channels, some industry events, whatever, right? Here below are people, your team, those who are actually going to implement this process, those who are going to be in charge of those activities, and below are tools, right? What tools are you going to use? Like, for example, CRM system, sales automation. We're going to see it further, right? So that is the first stage, and I think that is something that you should focus now, especially, right? The next stage is the execution. They call it sales pipeline, right? So you prepared it all. Now let's put it into use, and let's start communicating to your customer. Let's start offering this, right? So it is consists of these three sub stages. You first start interacting with people, right? You see some interest from them, but it doesn't mean that you are going to sell to them, that they're going to buy, even because they may not be your ideal buyers, right? It's like, for example, you all have some ideas, right, for startups. Who has an idea? Just give me some idea. Some idea of your startup. What do you want to do? Hello. Yeah.
And IT sphere, my project would help people to find a specialist, a doctor.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, all right. So connection, the services of connecting dentistry and people who needs it, right? So someone wants to buy a toothpaste. No, I mean, is that your ideal buyer? It's not what you're doing, right? Someone has a problem in a dentist area, right? That is your ideal buyer. But someone wants to buy a toothpaste. He just go to retail and buy it. Is it like this? No. All right. So you need to qualify if the person that you are talking to is your ideal buyer, right? If it is, right? If it's like this, you see this connection, you go further and you start doing this matching. You continue doing this matching, and you start seeing what's the problem there, what's the need, what can you solve there, right? You do this analysis, and you form the proposal. You form something that you propose to this person. If it is okay, after that, you're preparing the agreement and you actually close the deal, right? There is also one moment here after closing the deal. It's very important to just go through the whole offering, the whole process once again with the person, because very often people end up after closing with some different expectations, right? Like one person, the buyer thinks that he's going to receive one thing, but you are actually thinking that you're going to provide him with something different, with something totally different, right? So that is called resetting expectations. I mentioned some examples of sales process components, right? Customer journey, actions plan, channel, etc. There below. I'm not going to read it all for you now. What are you going to do with this? After you download my presentation, you just go through this and you Google something, right? So that you have these structure, this scheme, this model in your mind. All right? Good. And we close the deal, right? And most of the people, they think that, all right, that this is the end, right? It's done, success. Let's proceed to the other people. But it's not like this. They forget about the third stage, which is relationship management, and it's also included in this entrepreneurial sales process. Because you're not going just to find new customers one by one always, right? You want to retain the customers, and you want to provide them with a product or services each time better and better. So that is something that you also should do after closing the deal, right? The analysis stage, you measure your results. If that deal was good for you and for your customer, how you can improve it, right? So after you decided, you start this cycle again, making some adjustments, right? And and maybe customer just will find, or you find some new areas of application of your solution, of your product, for a customer. So you also you also see if it is possible, right? If you can provide just something different to your customer. All right. Yeah, that is a bit of lot of information. I just want you to have it in mind. This map, this entrepreneurial sales process map, I will share it with you. You have, and once again, the first stage, which I think is most important for you, is the preparation, right? Answering those very important questions. The second stage, execution, is all that is happening when you are going to close the deal. And the third stage is actually analysis. That is, you may say, reflection, right? If it happened good or not. All right. Any questions on this? I'll be here. I'll be here after the presentation for a while, and I will also share with you my contacts, Facebook, so you don't hesitate to just contact me, right? If you have maybe some doubts about it. So my presentation was also the title was why you should be the main salesperson in your startup. So why is that? And for this, I want to share with you my recent inspiration. This American author, Simon, and he's doing a great thing. Just recently found out about his books, right? His ideas, and that is something that he shared on TED Talk. And I encourage you to actually watch his TED Talk. And what he said is, people do not buy what you do; they buy why you do it. And that is very important. And that is actually why you should be, you as an entrepreneur, you as the leader of your startups, as a founder, you should be the main salesperson, because what you do simply proves what you believe, and who else can actually express what you believe, right? Who else can actually say why you are doing it? The example of it is, let's take very simple example of Apple. They're not just creating the gadgets. They're not just producing the gadgets. They say we are breaking. We're thinking different. We are breaking the patterns. We are thinking out of the box, and we just happen to do the gadgets, to produce the gadgets. You want to buy some? And that is different, right? Instead of just saying, all right, we're doing these gadgets. That is very different. It is something. It creates emotional connection. So I want you to also reflect on this idea about that you are the main salesperson of a startup, because only you can share with people your idea. Only you can share with people what you believe in. Thank you very much.
А сейчас прервемся на кофе-паузу, спонсорами которой являются кондитерская фабрика Альвеста и природная вода Боровая. А в 12:45 ждем вас всех здесь, и огромная просьба не опаздывать.